And welcome back to Australasia's exclusive coverage of Australasia's greatest harness race. The band is playing, the build-up is, well, it's brewing, and there's a buzz downstairs in the bookies arena, upstairs where the, for want of a better term, hobnobs are hanging out. It's just, I don't know, I had a chat to Greg Brodie before he came on with John Tapp before, and he's got way less jangles than I have. I'm getting very nervous about this whole thing. And a keen student of harness racing through the deeds of his glamour racehorse Holmes DG is John Hart, who joins us trackside throughout Australasia as we get into the last 20 minutes of build-up. How does, let's take a rugby slant on this. You're probably sick of these rugby slants, but I suppose when you go into a race with Holmes DG like this, the first thing you got to do is start analysing the opposition, isn't it?
Well, you do that naturally, and naturally from the draw that we've got, you do analyse the opposition and how the race might be run. And obviously we're up against it where we're drawn, but the horse is really well. He's a super horse, and you know, if he gets a run, who knows?
Now, you will have seen most of his races as Group 1 victories. How does this field stack up alongside some of the, some of the tasks Holmes DG has had in his career so far?
Well, it's got to be probably one of the best fields I've seen, because I think with horses like Courage Under Fire, At It Again, Shaker Maker, they are, they are really the best of horses in Australasia. And Yule Star, Holmes DG, I mean, there are 5, in my view, great horses in this race, and then you've got a thing that's drawn really well like Pocket Me, who could turn the tables on everyone. So I really rate this as a really good field.
John, let's just analyse a couple of the key players in the opposition, if you like. Some of them just look bulletproof. I mean, At It Again, you'd look at him and you'd think, well, there isn't a weakness there, really, is there? Can you find one?
Well, he certainly hadn't shown it this year. I mean, he went that tremendous race against Holmes DG in the Miracle Mile, and then he's come out and won 3 heats, won them very powerfully. He looks really strong. He's the horse I'd pick, but he's got a bad draw too. But I think he'll go forward. I think he might even get the lead eventually. And if he does that and dictates, he's going to be awfully hard to beat.
Shaker Maker's going to start favourite, but there seems to have been a general feeling that leading into this final few days, he may have a weakness or two, and that one-trick pony thing that he's got going, that lethal 400-metre sprint, if he's saved for one. There's a sort of flip of a coin as to whether John Justice is going to do that. There's talk from John that he's going to power out and make everyone chase. How do you see Shaker Maker's role in this race?
I think that's pretty hard to read, actually, Sheldon. I think, if he goes out, then he may well be very hard. But I can't actually see Anthony Butt giving the lead to Shaker Maker, because I think he'll know that Shaker Maker might want to hand up and sit rather than do the donkey work in front. So, I think it's going to be really interesting what happens in the first 400 or 500 metres. I think, meanwhile, Holmes DG will probably be out the back somewhere.
I think I've got a feeling the plan's going to go out the window. I mean, in the Trotters final last, Sunset was just going to go to the lead and win, and of course, what did he do? Gallop. You go back 12 months, Courage Under Fire from barrier number 2 was going to go out and lead all the way in the final last year, and of course he knocks his scone on the mobile gate. Holmes DG, if they go hammer and tongs that first 600 metres, that 8 draw might almost become a bit of a blessing.
Well, I think that's his hope, really. If they go really hard early, and then he can slot across and get a run in the mid-stage of the race. If he can get brought into the race, then I think he showed what he can do in the midweek heat here with that blistering pace. Now, he wouldn't be able to do that against this field, but I still believe if he gets a drag into the race, he is very, very well. Barry's thrilled with the horse, so when he tells me he's got him as well as he's ever had him, if he gets a run, then I think he's going to be hard, but he's going to need a lot of luck tonight.
He's a champion. He's got the bank balance of a champion. If he wins tonight, do you think in the minds of Australasian harness racing fans he will finally cement himself as a champion of his era?
I would hope so. I think he deserves that. I mean, he's won 12 Group 1 races, 2 Miracle Miles. He's won some super races against the odds. If he won this against the odds, then he's beaten one of the best fields you've seen in Interdominion, and hopefully, people will recognise that. But so, I just hope he races well.
So this will be his greatest achievement if he gets there?
Well, it'd have to be.
Have you got the jangles?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. It's just lovely to be here. It's great to have a horse in a race like this.
Good to have you here, John Hart, who's here supporting Hammer and Tongs Holmes DG. Next race from Moonee Valley, not far away. Let's catch up trackside with Sean Kelly in the late mail.
Thank you, Sheldon. Yes, not too far away here.
Australasian harness racing have just landed on the track here at Albion Park for the 2001 Interdominion Pacing Grand Final. That's the horse that just got the greatest cheer, Courage Under Fire, and rejoined now by John Tapp. Thankfully, as we get a chance, John, to have a look at the big players, the big leaguers in harness racing across Australasia here, Breedy's fella.
Sheldon, the atmosphere is really starting to build now. Courage Under Fire, I think, has played a major part in generating this kind of excitement. Apparently, when he first appeared in the parade yard, there was a crowd 8 or 10 deep right around the perimeter of the parade yard, and they actually cheered when he appeared.
They've been there all week, haven't they? Reports of 200 people watching him track work on Thursday and 40 or 50 queuing up at some ungodly hour like 6:30, 6 o'clock, just to get photos and autographs from Brian Hancock this week.
Yeah. What do you think's the reason for this hero worship? His size, the fact that he's a midget alongside horses like At It Again, for instance. Look at the size of this bloke.
I think it might be the size and the fact, obviously, a youngster that wins, what was it, 24 out of 24, gets a following anyway. It's an unbelievable feat in harness racing in this day and age. But it just has to be the size, doesn't it? And a lot of champions have been small horses. Caduceus, who won the Interdominion Grand Final, was a small horse. I remember...
Grattan was another.
That's right. I remember seeing other photos of midgets, if you like, in old books like Johnny Globe. Wasn't big. Lordship certainly wasn't big, so it's got to be the size. And I think Marshall Dobson, who does the on-course stuff here at Albion Park, at one stage said, hopefully, in the home straight, Courage Under Fire doesn't go through the passing lane inside of At It Again, because the 15,000 odd people here won't see a bar of it probably until the last couple of strides when he puts his nose in front.
Now, this is Yule Star, but we were looking at Holmes DG shortly before Yule Star appeared. Now, he's been up and down. His form has been fluctuating, Holmes DG, and he's drawn a shocker in Barrier 8. Can you, in your wildest dreams, see Home DG winning this race?
I'm just starting to, just talking to John Hart before, just starting to get a vibe that if they do go nuts that first 600 yards, that 8 barrier draw might just be a godsend, because it makes Barry Purton have to drive him soft. He's going to need some luck. But I tell you, they run their last halves here in just a tick over 55, and that's record going. He's capable of sub 55 last halves. He just has to get close enough to starting that last 400 metres, and he can come over the top of them.
This is the horse that Connections have backed to win big money at huge odds. They secured 1,000 to 1 early in the carnival.
See New York. He's a great-looking horse. I've only seen him in the flesh, obviously, this week. He's a New Zealand-bred horse by a great stallion called New York Motoring. He's left some fabulous horses, including himself in Stars and Stripes. He looks great, and John Langdon seemed to be semi-confident earlier.
OK, we'll break as we go to Wentworth Park now for race 7.
Complete the line. They're all in. 3:20 the field. The favourite's the 3.
Green breastplate comes down past the winning post. Sheldon Lombo Repeater is the only mare in this year's grand final, and winning mares in Interdominion history have been very thin on the ground. Bandbox was the first back in 1947. Robin Dundee dead heated in Dunedin in 65. Richmond Lass won in Adelaide in 69. Stella Frost was awarded the Interdominion Championship in Christchurch in 71 when the winner, Junior's Image, returned a positive swab. And there's been one other mare, of course, and that was Jodie's Babe, 1989 in Perth. So there probably haven't been a large number of mares to contest the series, though.
I remember, I think last time the Interdominions were held here in 93, a great New Zealand mare called Blossom Lady came over, and we thought that she could do it, and she just found one better, I think, in the end, or maybe two, and Jack Morris and Whispering Brown, I think it was, held her out. Is Lombo Repeater in that league? I'm not sure.
OK, raining again at Bankstown. This is race 7. Gate is about to take off. Here's Mark McNamara.
Riders in pacing grand final. Sam Natai with me, and we'll get those all-important betting updates, Sam.
Equal favourites on track, number 4, Shaker Maker, and number 7, At It Again. And we get bored saying it, but Courage Under Fire, huge unders by comparison to what the bookies were prepared to bet. We knew that was going to happen, and Courage Under Fire obviously very well supported. Persistency's actually the 3rd pick on track ahead of Courage Under Fire, and those odds just a couple of rolls of the board better than what you can get on track.
All right, now when we got here tonight, the bookies had Shaker Maker a very clear favourite, but there has been a very big go for At It Again.
The avalanche of money for At It Again has been unbelievable when you take into consideration the strength of this bookmaker ring here. Admittedly, the bookies hadn't laid At It Again for anything substantial coming into tonight's card, but to see him firm quite substantially in this field and in that betting ring is unbelievable.
3, 1 and 4, those numbers through there. Massive crowd here tonight. I would say we could even have more here tonight than we had the 18,100 to the Melbourne final last year. Look at those scenes there.
That would be.
Well, it certainly would. It certainly would be for Brisbane here. I mean, that paints the scene, doesn't it? This is why we get so excited about these carnivals and the reception some of the horses received on their way out onto the track. Of course, headed by Courage Under Fire, who, for some mythical reason, is listed as a Queenslander in this series, but we won't go down that track now. $3.10 Shaker Maker. You can get so much better on track.
Oh, we certainly, a couple of the rolls of the board anyway, as I said, Added Again and Shaker Maker equal favourites, but I'm sure that market's not going to change much. Everybody at home, they've got their favourites. They've decided who they want to be on, and that's the way it is.
Going through runner by runner now. Number 1, Pocket Me, the early leader. Who will he surrender to? He was showing $17. Ouch at $77. Tony Hurler, he will look for luck on him. He doesn't seem comfortable on this track here at Albion Park. Number 3, Sam, is Persistency.
Yes, and $7.50. That's about the comparable quote to what the bookies are prepared to give you. Well, he's another query. Few people talking up during the week the possibility of him leading. I'm not sure he has that gate speed. Shaker Maker 2-1, $3 for Johnny Justice.
Yes, and will he burst out and look for the lead? He's publicly said he will, but was he just foxing in the media build-up to this intriguing race? $3 for Shaker Maker. The People's Horse, Courage Under Fire. What can we say about him? He set this series alight with 2 incredible heat wins. $4.50. There's Shaker Maker on screen, your favourite. Outside of him is Courage Under Fire in their white with the light blue diamond. Breeny's Fella, $17. At It Again, another big one at $4.30. Continuing on, outside of the front row is Holmes DG. The draw has really hurt his chances, $27. Yule Star inside of the back row, the black and the green colours, $14. See New York, $68. And quickly through the last couple, Wally Walton, $131. And Lombo Repeater at $80. David Fowler calling this race. Sam, thanks for your pre-race build-ups, and to take it away, here's David Fowler for the Interdom Pacing Final.
Stand by for a start. This is it. They're ready to run in the Interdominion. They all score up well. Set. Racing. Pocket Me off the inside began brilliantly. So too did Shaker Maker. He came out hard. Persistency was trying to go with him in the early stages. They drive into the first corner. Pocket Me leads the way from Persistency. Shaker Maker can't cross. There's the first sensation, and Justice eases, and Yule Star drives up on the back of the leader. Followed by Ouch. 5th on settling down. Courage Under Fire's caught 3 wide. Then See New York, followed by Breeny's Fella, driven for luck in the early part of the race by going to the pegs. Then came Wally Walton. At It Again settles third last, second last as they head down the straight. Lombo Repeater and Holmes DG is last of all. Pocket Me's in front, still holding the lead. Now Gav set on Persistency. I whoop the front and he'll get it 2 laps out. Persistency rolls to the top from Pocket Me, and Shaker Maker's left without cover. He could be in for a tough trip, sitting 1-1 as they move to the side of the track. Was Ouch and Yule Star position 5th on the pegs. Then See New York racing outside of Breeny's Fella. Gee, no luck for Courage Under Fire, planted 3 wide in midfield, can't get in. Wally Walton's on his immediate inside. Then came At It Again. Dennis Wilson is biding his time in the first 1,000 metres, and 2 behind him. Lombo Repeater and Holmes DG. Here's a new leader. Gavin Lang pulled an ace and said Shaker Maker can take the front. Shaker Maker took the lead at the mile, and there was pace the lead time in 74.1. Persistency now second. Sliding up on the outside, See New York, Courage Under Fire. Still 3 wide, working triple time. Pocket Me 3 back on the inside. Then came Ouch. At It Again gets moving in the middle stages. He's going to take closer order as they run down towards the home bend. Yule Star, he's pegged away over on the inside, followed at the head of the others by Lombo Repeater, Breeny's Fella. Second last, Wally Walton, and last of all is Holmes DG. First quarter of the last mile, 29.8. Shaker Maker's in front, but At It Again's not far away. 3/4 second the outside. Persistency is third, and he's got the drop on the pair. Courage Under Fire was able to get into the 1-1 trail, but he did plenty of work. Then Pocket Me, Lombo Repeater. She's going up gamely 3 wide, being tracked by Holmes DG. Then came See New York, cluttered up in traffic. Yule Star to the inside. Breeny's Fella, Ouch, and Wally Walton is last of all. By the 800 metres they run, 30 seconds the second quarter, 59.8 the half. Shaker Maker, At It Again, and Persistency. 3 of the big guns all there as they run towards the 600 metres. Courage Under Fire, niggled at. Pocket Me needs racing room. These in the second half of the field are labouring. Lombo Repeater, See New York, Yule Star, Holmes DG, Ouch, Breeny's Fella, and Wally Walton's last of all. The leader's Shaker Maker, but Dennis Wilson is sitting quietly on At It Again. Persistency niggled at, then Courage Under Fire. Pocket Me head of the others. Third quarter, 28.6. Here is the battle, but At It Again poked the head in front. Shaker Maker can't go with him. Persistency can't go on. Courage Under Fire still there, and Pocket Me is emerging. Dennis Wilson is looking for his finest moment in harness racing. He's got 100 metres left to go. At It Again's in front. Pocket Me and Yule Star flying. Yule Star after At It Again. Louise has beaten At It Again, Pocket Me and Breedy's Fella, then Persistency, followed by Wally Walton, Shake Your Maker, Courage Under Fire, Lombo Repeater, Ouch, Holmes DG and See New York is last. Yule Star has won the Interdominion, emerging at the home corner and producing a brilliant finish to score. $13.90 and $3.30. 7 At It Again, Dennis Wilson, $2.10. 1 is third, Pocket Me, Anthony Butt at $3.30. 9, 7, 1 and 4th is desperately close. It goes to number 5, Courage Under Fire. For the first 4, 9, 7, 1, 5 and Breeny's Fella has run in 5th position. Well, he was the sleeper in the run, Yule Star. All the big guns were at it at the top end. But Tony Shaw just bided his time. He needed some luck. Runs emerged as they approached the bend. Dennis Wilson went for home and At It Again. I thought he might have had it around the corner. He beat off Shaker Maker. Persistency couldn't get to them. But you could see Pocket Me and then Yule Star producing great finishes down the outside. And it's Yule Star's Interdominion from At It Again. Pocket Me third and 4th over the line, Courage Under Fire. And didn't he run a game race after sitting 3 wide for the first 1,200 metres? The time is 3:11.21. It's a mile rate of 1:56.2. 1:56.2 the mile rate. That is an absolutely outstanding run. Albion Park.
We've got Tony Shaw who's running past us, and it's a Kiwi victory. It's a massive smile, and what a great drive.
Oh, just everything fell into place, and well, I shouldn't say fell into place, but everything went my way tonight, and yeah, it was unbelievable.
He was a bit the forgotten horse, and as it turned out in the run, you were buried back after a while.
Yeah, he was a forgotten horse a wee bit, but you know, they sort of stuck with the Australian horses, and you know, he got beaten by the Inference Girl on the first nights, but freshened up this week and trained super.
His runs through the heats were fabulous.
Oh, they were, yeah. Like, he hadn't been to the races since the Hunter Cup, and you know, he's come back here and he's using the heats as lead-up races. So she had him right on the night, and he's got the chocolates.
At It Again got away on the bend. When did you think you might have had him?
When I sort of come out, he sort of sprinted like he can, and yeah, he just went super.
And that great wave of the whip as they hit the line. What a great thrill.
Yeah, I enjoyed every moment of that, Sam.
You know, a Kiwi hasn't won this race on Australian soil since the last one here, I think, or in 77 or something.
Yeah, well, it's hard to win over here.
All right, well, you got the lion's share of the money. There's a massive crowd here for you. Go and enjoy it.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
Well, the most exalted moment that any harness racing driver can experience, and the most exalted moment for the animal. This is all about survival, Sheldon. These animals have got to come through 4 races in 2 weeks. A grueling essay. And on the night, on grand final night, it's the toughest, it's the most durable survivor.
He's absolutely joined the greats. He's won the toughest 3 races in Australasian harness racing. Hunter Cup, New Zealand Cup, and we talked about tactics. It all fell into place as Tony Shaw said it had to, because he was 4 back on the Marcus, this horse, down the back straight. The 2 guns were going hammer and tongs. He couldn't get a bar of it.
Here's the trainer, Lorraine Nolan, a lovely little lady, and imagine how she's feeling.
The greatest grandmother in harness racing.
Adam Hamilton. Chief Executive of the Albion Park Harness Racing Club, Damien Radler, one of the first to congratulate Tony Shaw. Sheldon, tell me about Tony Shaw. Is he a full-time driver?
No, he's not. He's Yule Star's his pride and joy. That's is pretty much his life outside of his personal life, obviously. But he actually, I think, drives trucks on his downtime to make a living out of the game.
I mean, it can't get any bigger than this.
It certainly doesn't. It's as big as it can ever get. It's just a wonderful, wonderful thrill. Yeah.
What about Tony Shaw's drive? Under pressure from an awkward draw going into the final, he never panicked.
No, he certainly didn't. And the break came at the right time. He got out and he was able to run forward, yeah.
The Interdominion's had some wonderful chapters. A grandmother from literally the middle of nowhere in New Zealand has now put her name into the books.
I can't believe it. I really can't. And it's an honour and a privilege to be a part of it and to have won it. Well, it's just something unreal.
And for those who don't know, he's basically the first place you've really been involved with.
I've had several. I've won about 50 races, but I only have 1 or 2, and we are galloping people, so that's it's just a bit of a hobby, yeah.
And when you won the New Zealand Cup in November, you thought, this is the top of the tree. In the back of your mind, you had the Interdominion. You've come, you've beaten Shaker Maker, you've beaten At It Again, you've taken them all on.
Yeah, it is unreal, and I really don't know what to say, because, you know, they are the bigs, and it's to have beaten them, yeah.
What will they do in your hometown tonight?
Oh, I would imagine they'd be dancing a little bit at the moment and going crazy, yeah.
The drinks are on Lorraine and Ron tonight in the Hawera?
I would think so, throughout Taranaki.
Good on you. Congratulations. We'll look forward to talking to you again very soon, but congratulations.
Thank you, Adam.
There's Lorraine Nolan there. What a win and what a chapter in Interdominion history we've just seen tonight. It's a real, true fairy tale story here at Albion Park.
He's a long striding horse, Sheldon, a very long-barreled animal. I'd love to know his hobble length, but you can see there he stands over a power of ground.
I tell you what, he took a power of ground off At It Again in the last 200 metres. I think we were all circling At It Again in the racebook as far out as 600 from home, and You'll Star was just nowhere, but it just opened up like the Red Sea coming round by the 300, but he still had a power of work to do, and it's a measure of his greatness and Tony Shaw's patience, although he had no other option in the race. He just had to be patient. That was his #1 rule, and it's just come off. It's a brilliant result. Brilliant result.
Halfway around the home turn, one look at Dennis Wilson convinced most people here watching on the big screen
all over
that At It Again was home, because Dennis was sitting quietly. John Justice was starting to niggle Shaker Maker along. You had to feel sorry for John. He had a game plan, obviously, from the moment the gate took off. Nothing went right.
No, plan A went out the window, plan B went out the window, and he was gone down the back straight. Poor little Courage Under Fire. He went a mighty race. He couldn't keep up on the back of At It Again going down the back straight. He found half a gear coming around the bend, and I think he's actually somehow managed to run into 4th after being 3-4 wide early in the race and never getting any sort of trip at all.
Yes, I thought he'd drop right out, but that great big ticker was working over time, and he's collected prize money.
He's got greatness ahead of him in Interdominion races in the future, I think. Courage Under Fire. Watch out next year, I'd say.
Holmes DG got a long way back. Barry Purdon elected to go back from his wide gate. He got onto the back of Lombo Rapida coming down to the bell, but she wasn't taking him anywhere.
Looked like it was going to work for him, but then Lombo Rapida hit the wall going down the back as well, and he just couldn't get close enough. And they've run, what, a 156 2-mile rate, which is just supersonic sectionals, and you just can't make ground on that sort of... supposedly on those sort of sectionals, but we've just seen You'll Star do it.
This is one of the fastest tracks in the Southern Hemisphere, of course, Sheldon, and times ceased surprising me here at Albion Park a long time ago. We better get to Moonee Valley. Sean Kelly is standing by.
Thanks, Tappy. Yeah.
I'd like to thank our host, Stuart Hunter, for his use of his property. It's been a lovely stay out there, and the help and little bit of advice that everybody has offered. It's been so helpful and given me a lot of confidence. Pardon?
What about to all the media?
Thank you to the media for their support. They've been really behind me, and I'm eternally grateful. I'd like to say a special hello back home to all our family and friends, and a special hello to Kenny Brown, a very dear friend of ours who's fighting for his life after an accident the other day off a horse. We wish you all the very best, Ken. I know, Anne, you are watching.
You've done well.
Pardon?
You've done well.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. Congratulations to you and Ron.
And Sheldon, we should clear up the fact that the trainer's Christian name is Lorraine, not Judith. That's a misprint in the racebook.
It doesn't even start with L, does it?
No, and her husband Ron was standing on her right there.
Yep, and they... you know, they approach things their own way, and I suppose they get a bit of flack for the way they train the horse sometimes, but hell, I mean, you look at the results now. They'll be saying, we told you we knew how to do it all along. You should have kept listening to us. You should have got the 1390.
All right, Southern Spirit at Moonee Valley as the gate rolls at Bankstown. And will now head home, the majority licking their wounds.
Well, I suppose they will be licking their wounds, but it must just be a great series to be a part of, even if your horse maybe falls at the last fence. I mean, you know, talking to the trainers, you know, this week, even people like Brian Hancock who've been there and done it before, they just love the fact they got into the grand final, whether their horse runs excellently or poorly. It's just a great series to be a part of. I mean, it's great enough being a part of it as a media representative, so it must be just astonishing to be a trainer or a driver or an owner. I think they just love the race, and tonight's race was a great race in Interdominion history. I mean, the heart's just starting to slow down now. We only watched it.
I can't wait to see the full replay.
Yep.
I want to see how Pocket Me got away from the fence. I want to see how Yule Star got out of the pocket. We'll have a replay later on, of course, in full, and I can't wait to see it. Let's go back to Sandown. Ron Hawkswell with another interesting interview.
Well, Tom Daly's back with us again, but
because of the length of the presentations, Tony Shaw spoke for the longest he's ever spoken in his life. He was that excited about the victory. We've got the extremely late mail for the next race here at Albion Park from Sam Natai. Oh, actually, we'll do that later because everything's running late here at Albion Park, and we're actually going to Sean Kelly at Moonee Valley, who took out the Pacers Grand Final of 2001.
He's home. There's nothing coming.
Can't go with him. Persistency can't go on. Courage Under Fire still there, and Pocket Me is emerging. Dennis Wilson is looking for his finest moment in harness racing. He's got 100 metres left to go. At it again's in front. Pocket Me and Yule Star flying. Yule Star after at it again. Yule Star's into Dominion. Yule Star for the Kiwis has beaten at it again Pocket Me and Breedy's fella, then Persistency.